Hello, all of you frozen, cold, fantastic, elegant listeners and viewers out there. It is winter time, and thus we dive back into more winter sports. It's me, Tyler Scheid, your host with mostest, joined by my fellow host, Markiplier, the illustrious man himself.
Hi.
Today,
I'm going to talk about masturbation a lot.
What?
That's this episode.
Is it because it's cuffing season?
I don't even know what that means.
You said cupping season last time, but cuffing season is like a time where I assume it means people are like trying to link up for the holidays so that they have a +1 for parties and to bring home with the family, and then they break up with them after New Year's.
Well, if it was cussing season, then we wouldn't have to worry about masturbation, but because there's a new sport on the block.
What?
There's a new sport.
Oh.
Yeah.
What sport are you talking about that I don't know about?
Masturbation.
No, that's not.
It is, actually.
Wait, is something in the Reddit now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, that can't be true.
I'm looking at it.
Are you looking at porn right now?
No.
Does it qualify as porn if it's also a sport?
No.
Shit. All right.
Look, the Sex Olympics wasn't a thing. That was all a hoax, but this is very real.
This is going to be the masturbation games? Is that what it's going to be?
No, this is just talking about it. Look, I'm not experienced enough to do a primer of it, but if we have a master of balls and holes here, he is. So I'm just keying this up. If you want to take it and make it a whole episode with your expertise in the subject, that's on you, not on me.
Okay, speak to whatever you're seeing right now, some news break or whatever you're finding.
Masanobu Sato is the world champion in masturbation. Setting his records as early as 2008, he pleasured himself in front of crowds at San Francisco's annual Masturbate-a-thon for 9 hours and 33 minutes. And has even talked to the press about his handy award-winning techniques. This man is a champion. Someone that everyone can look up to and aspire. Do you think I'm joking?
I can't.
Do you think I'm joking?
I can't. This happened in San Francisco.
In 2008 it did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, this is all the way back then. So clearly there is a masturbation competition that has very specific rules.
Okay, so it has like a governing body.
And it's time judged. It's a marathon. How long can you go?
What are the qualifications of it ending? Climax?
Yes, no climax.
No climax. So you have
to. As soon as climax occurs, that's when time is over.
Time is called.
Yes, exactly. So, this man, in a sanctioned event, which makes masturbation a sport by all of your definitions. There's rules, judges, there's governing body, there's specific criteria that are repeatable, there's training that can occur. There's athleticism involved, endurance, all of the factors that go into a sport. By Tyler's definition here, masturbation is a sport. He has sponsorships too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I assume lube or something?
He doesn't need lube. He's beyond that. No, he has a sponsorship with Tanga, a Japanese company that makes, quote, crazy futuristic masturbatory tools.
Okay, so like sex toys.
Oh, that's not what it says.
Okay, well.
That's not what it says. Look, Masanobu Sato is also suspected to be the man behind the pen name Turbo Masturbo, who wrote the book, quote, How to Masturbate Properly, which we all know is not him. That's actually Tyler's pen name, which contains 100 masturbation commandments. In 2009, he beat his own record, extending it to 9 hours and 58 minutes.
That's insane.
Up from 9 hours and 33 minutes. This is 2009, so who knows where he is now? Maybe this is his heyday. Maybe he's long retired. But I just thought you should know about the wide, wide world of competitive masturbation.
Did you find this on your own, or did the Reddit
on a subreddit?
Really?
Our subreddit.
I didn't even see that, and I looked at it today.
Our subreddit.
The gmfst one.
Ender Slayer 197 cross-posted this from the subreddit. Interesting as fuck, which most subreddits don't even, their titles don't mean anything anymore.
No,
it's
all
the same content gets posted to every single one.
There's probably like 70,000 of that same exact type.
Reddit is a plague. Most social media is a plague. I don't even know if Reddit counts as social media, but sometimes it is a plague. Our subreddit is the only safe space that you could possibly be on Reddit.
And that's thanks to our wonderful moderators and fantastic community members that follow the rules.
Absolutely. Maybe.
Wow. I did not expect that. Sounds like we got our Valentine's Day, or Singles Awareness Day sport to talk about. Do the primer on.
He has a girlfriend.
All right. Well, I'm not saying about him. I'm saying about the conversation of masturbation as a sport.
Doesn't mean you're lonely.
The majority of people, probably it does.
Anyway, a frying pan boy says, by Tyler's definition, it is a sport because it has a championship now. So, aha. And then this emoji of a guy standing like this.
I guess we'll re-examine the rules that qualify a sport before season 4.
Final girl Shay said, yes, period. Lol, period.
Nice.
That's it. Top quotes.
Well, I guess that could be a winter sport. It can be conducted indoors in the warmth by a nice toasty fire. I did not expect this. This is a complete curveball from what I had planned today.
That's what I'm here for, to curve those balls.
But anyway, to the small talk of the matter, how are you today?
Oh, business, doing business.
But things are good?
Things are good, yeah.
Your servers didn't explode the other day?
They almost did. So I had a few crises. They overheated yesterday.
Okay, which is what we thought.
And one whole cluster shut down, which is good. It's supposed to do that. If
That's
it overheats,
a safety.
it's a safety thing. It shuts down. So that all worked well. I had the problem that I had was when you get a loop of this size, the pressure it takes to push the liquid any kind of up above, it matters very specifically where your pump is versus what's going there. So my pump was below all of the things it was going into because it was on the floor. So it has to pump against gravity going up and then into the things. It's much easier if it's going top down. Actually, what I really want to do is I want to have a top to bottom to top kind of pump at the top, pump at the bottom. So it has a return pump going up and then a pump at the top going down. So one's pulling it up and one's pushing it down.
So it cycles it more efficiently.
Yes. And so I will eventually get that. But the problem is I don't have enough water cooling connectors. Water cooling is a very interesting skill and technology. It is very rudimentary. You really don't feel like you're working on computers when I've got my finger over a hole that's spewing water everywhere, and I'm wrapped in rags and paper towels, and I'm just like, I'm soaking wet, and I'm just like,
slapping on that Flex Seal tape.
I mean, honestly, I need it because I had a problem just earlier where I was unscrewing something, and I thought I turned off all of the pumps because I actually have 4 in the loop at the moment. Well, because each radiator, I have an all-in-one like radiator external cooler and pump. So it's got a pump reservoir, fan, and radiator in it. So you just plug it in, plug it out, it does all the work. It's great because I can keep that outside of the server room so I can vent heat outside. And so I thought that all of them were off. One was on. So I unscrewed one of the hoses. It was like, oh, no, I should have suspected because the water line was draining this way. I was like, oh, thank goodness it's not shooting out. Open the other one. Poof, I'm in the server room. Water spraying everywhere, all over the electronics. No. I was like, I'm dead. It's all gone. Nothing broke, thankfully. It's so warm in there and the air is flowing so hot. It actually evaporates pretty quickly. So
I've heard of places that use, since you're running so much stuff, that you could potentially use that to even heat your entire house.
Yeah, I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it'd be a whole mess.
The ideal would be to figure out a long enough loop that I could run it through the pool.
Oh yeah, and heat
the pool. Like Linus did. It wouldn't even heat the pool. It wouldn't be enough for that, but it would dump heat into the pool. Even during summer, the pool is cooler than the servers would ever be. And so it's of such a large capacity that if I could run a radiator in there and have the loop going through there to cool it, it would effectively remove any need to cool it. Just like my Glauber salt solution, except, a pool and not Glauber salt.
Yeah.
Which would technically work if I ever built my evaporative cooling setup, but that's neither here nor there. Now we're here to talk about.
No, but we are talking about a particularly cool sport in 2 meanings of the word.
Hockey?
No, we're going all the way to Japan. And the interesting thing is this kind of concept of competition already existed in winter climates all over.
Yes, sorry.
Anytime there's been snow. All right. So, Mark,
Yes.
we're from Ohio.
Uh-huh.
We grew up, Ohio got snow when we grew up.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You've made snowballs and thrown them before, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought of snowball fights in general becoming an actual sport, a major competition?
I would assume they already are.
Yes.
I would have assumed if you had asked me that, or if I'd have thought about
Even
it.
as a kid, would you have thought of that potentially
As
being
a kid,
sport?
I didn't have many individual thoughts about anything in the wide world. My thoughts were pretty focused on when can I go play video games?
Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
Teams made up of men and women, 7 of them on each side, let's say. 3 built snow impacted barriers at different levels. All snowballs made to be the exact specification, so they're the same, but still made out of snow. Not ice, no yellow snow, pure white packing snow.
Okay.
There are 7 players on each team facing off across a court, about a quarter of the size of a soccer field, divided in half. 4 players can be forwards, 3 are backline players. The forwards cannot go behind the back line to retrieve snowballs. Only the backline players are allowed there, and the forwards have to move forward. The entire goal is like capture the flag combined with elimination. It's like team deathmatch in Halo.
Mm-hmm.
You run up. When the game starts, you have 3 minutes. The goal of it is to either capture the opposing team's flag, eliminate more players than they eliminate of you within the 3 minutes, and have the game end because of time.
Okay.
Or simply hold out and then eventually do the tiebreak at the end and win on the victory throws or winning throws.
I see. All right.
So there's 7 players. 3 of them have to at least be women. It's co-ed. There are all women's leagues now, but there is no men's league. It's entirely co-ed. And that's the premise of the game. There are 3 set up barriers. You can't make your own snowballs during. They're all pre-made.
Oh.
So your supply is limited. You only get 90 per period.
Oh.
And so you have to coordinate and work together to try and eliminate the opposing team while trying not to get eliminated.
Uh-huh.
You are out if you were hit by your own team. You are out if the opposing team hits you.
Nice.
So there's a lot involved in it, and the barriers are completely solid snow, like almost ice-like. You'll hide behind those as you try and pelt people with snowballs.
What if you catch one?
Doesn't matter. If it hits you at all, you're out. There is no catching. There's no dodgeball. So that's the basic understanding of the game. That's the overview of what's happening. What do you think the name of this sport is?
If it's from Japan?
Yeah.
How racist do you want my answer to be?
What do you think it converts to in English?
El Snowballo.
I don't think it's that. Now I'm having to search it up because
Snowball Fight, but Japanese.
It translates to snow battle. So close. Snow battle.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But it is Yukigassen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get a quick little video overview of this. Beautiful.
As a means of athletic glory.
Are your balls frozen? Are your balls frozen? That's Yukigassen.
All right. So that's a basic overview to get you hyped, get you excited for this primer.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now it's time to jump into Act 1. How did Yukigassen begin?
It's a mystery. There's no way to know. Lost to the ages. Definitely wasn't just a bunch of people playing with snowballs in a field.
Surprisingly, it wasn't.
I'm sure, yeah. Okay, let's hear the official story.
Act 1. History of Yukigassen. While informal snowball fights have taken place all throughout human history, as far as we know, the origin of Yukigassen came from the efforts to revitalize a town, Sobetsu, in Japan. This town is a beautiful place on the edge of a lake by 2 fantastic volcanoes. They're known for their vacation spots. They're a big tourist town, hot springs in the summer. So many tourists would come to enjoy the natural scenery, enjoy the hot springs, and enjoy the town during the summer. But unfortunately, when the snow hits, the number of tourists decreased and it almost becomes empty. So in 1987, the people of Subetsu brainstormed ideas to liven up their quiet town in winter, and the idea of Yukigassen was born. So the way they came about this concept is they were sitting there and they were trying to think of what would attract tourists in the winter. What's something unique that we can do?
Mm-hmm.
And they happened to see some people throwing snowballs back and forth and having a small snowball fight. And they're like, what if we made that into a sport? And so they're the official host for the Yukigassen championships. So the rules were decided and established in 1988. And then in 1989, the first tournament took place. And it was the first Showa Shinzen International Yukigassen.
Okay.
And it was held in Subetsu, and the tournament had 70 teams participate in their first ever tournament.
Damn.
After that, Yukigassen began to spread all over Japan and eventually to the rest of the world. And in 2013, the International Alliance of Sports Yukigassen was founded to govern the sport as a whole. In addition to Japan, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Russia, Australia, Canada, the US, and Armenia have Yukigassen teams, with tournaments and events now officially being held worldwide and has spread to becoming a global sport. So, what's the court like? Well, I mentioned it's about the quarter of a soccer field.
It's 36 meters long.
Yeah.
By 10 meters wide.
Yes.
Could be 32 by 8, depending on the field required, but there's scalable things for the obstacles as they go by. There's a 3-meter safety net around the perimeter of the field of battle.
Perfect.
With a center line and then back lines established 6 meters away from the far back wall. It doesn't matter if it's 36 by 10 or 38 by 10, it's still 6 meters away from the back line for that back line to be there. And then the center line is exactly divisible of the entire court, whether that's 18 or 16 meters. There's various obstacles. There's a chateau.
Yeah, the chateau.
2 meters from the back line, center on the center line.
What sits behind the chateau?
The back line.
No, the chateau is where you house your balls.
The balls are there, yes.
The frozen balls, your snowballs.
2 meters in front of the back line on either side is the flag in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first shelter on the right side when you're facing your opponent. It's symmetrical in a rotational fashion across from the other people. Not symmetrical. It's actually chiral. It's chiral. It's
yes.
chiral.
Yes.
Chiral.
Yes.
It's chiral.
It's got that
chirality.
Yeah.
8 meters ahead of that, 3 meters from the opposite side of wherever the first shelter is the second shelter. And then the center shelter resides in the very center on the center line.
And that 8 meters from the back line is the first close shelter on your side. And then 14 meters from the back line is the furthest shelter. And then in the midline, right on the center line, is the main dividing shelter that you want to take control of.
What I said.
Yeah. I'm just reiterating.
And with me knowing that Baby Mark is exempt from being tortured to death in these games, right? Right.
Yes, we will allow this.
Okay, all right.
All right, so what do you need to play Yukigassen? Obviously, you need the field set up. You need snowballs.
Guts.
You need guts.
Fervor.
A
reckless disregard for humanity.
All right, I accept that.
Coffee, probably.
Well, you need teammates. But equipment-wise, you need a helmet. You are required to wear a helmet with a face guard. You also need a uniform. Your entire team must match, and they can, with their shirts and pants and their team colors. Some teams also wear costumes because you can win a prize for the best dressed team. Maybe you're not good, so you go for the best dressed. Who knows? Like I said, they can be costume-like. Sometimes they can be as simple as like tracksuits, jumpsuits. But one of the key things that I noticed as I've watched multiple matches is that they're assigned numbers. Players have different numbers. And the max amount of players you can have on your team is 10, one of which is your captain or your coach who will be shouting orders from the sideline. 2 people they stand outside. And then you have 7 players inbounds, and at least 3 of them must be women. And the forwards, which is a position, have to wear white numbers, and the backs wear black numbers. So you can tell them apart for the judge on the side because the forwards can't cross the back line. And so they have to make sure that the forwards stay within their allowable zones. Gloves, players bring their own gloves. Some players use bare gloves as well, thin material, whatever helps you handle the snowballs. Shoes, cleats are prohibited.
Prohibited.
You are not allowed to have metal cleats.
Huh. I wonder why that is, because you would need traction.
You are allowed rubber cleats.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the snowballs, you cannot make them during. They are all made before. Your team makes your own snowballs.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 sets per match, and you have 90 snowballs. You must make them. They get inspected, and then you're allowed to use them. Now, you would think you just make them with your hands, right?
I wouldn't think, actually. If they had to be regulation and the same as everyone else, you couldn't trust someone's hands. Unless you got Johnny Snowball over there with the perfect cupped hands.
Frosty.
He's
got the ultimate balls.
No, he only got so many. You can't take it from him. You probably have some kind of a snowball press.
Yes.
It's a clamshell, probably like 2 sides. You stuff built in.
Exactly. And it makes 45 snowballs at a time.
Pretty good.
Really inspect the snowballs. They also provide specific specifications for the snow. Has to be just wet enough to be packing, not too dry, but also not too wet to be slushy and then become iced over.
Where are they made? Are they made in an outside facility and brought in, or are they
They're made at location.
Oh, okay, all right.
The team has to make their own snowballs.
Oh, I thought it was like regulation made them. Okay.
No, they make them, and then the judges come through and make sure that they're okay and force them to make more.
Wouldn't that be rife for cheating? People put rocks in them.
They get inspected, and if something happens, you're immediately disqualified from the tournament and probably banned for life.
Oh, God.
Key rules that exist is any player who touches an in-play snowball, that means it's in the air, has not fractured or anything else throughout the air, must leave the court immediately. They cannot return to the game until the end of the set.
Fascinating.
Friendly fire is in fact enabled, like I said. So if your own team accidentally hits you, you're going to get knocked out as well. So one of the key things is your backline has to feed your forward snowballs because they can't run back to that chateau where the snowballs are hidden. So they have to roll them or throw them so they stay in contact with the ground or get to them without a problem. They can't just toss, catch, toss.
That would be a big problem.
So, and the forwards can't go behind the back lines. Only 3 players can cross the halfway line at a time.
Interesting.
So you have 4 forwards, only 3 of them can cross at a time. So communication is key. If more than 4 or more than 3 cross, instantly lose that set.
Instantly.
And then each match has 3 3-minute sets. And the first team to win 2 sets wins the entire match and moves on.
Okay.
They can win, like I said, by either capture the flag, which is simply getting to it and pulling it out of the ground without being hit.
They don't need to bring it back?
Nope. They just have to lift it out of the ground.
That's it?
That's it.
I guess it is all the way over there, but still, that's like...
Yeah.
I guess, okay, it's such a narrow field that flanking isn't really a thing. Mm-hmm. It's like straight on fight. If you've got so few people left that they can get to your flag...
You're probably going to lose anyway, yeah.
What if you do the
human shield?
Yeah, the you know, that movie with about the Ender's Game. What if they do the Ender's Game thing where they shield everyone around the guy running for it?
You can only have 3 people cross the halfway point at a time.
It's like soccer.
You could have 2 in front of you, but you know, that's a strategy. But the problem is there's enough people throwing because the back line's also throwing. They're volleying and throwing deep shots.
What counts as 1 person?
1 person on your team of the 7.
What if you have 1 person that's only an upper half?
That's still a person.
What if you have 1 person that's been divided into 2 halves?
That's 2 separate people. They're 2 individuals.
No, that's 1 person with 2 halves.
No, not for not for Yukigassen.
I don't know, man. This seems pretty exclusive. I don't think I want to be a part of this if I'm not welcome with my halves. Shut up.
All right, so you have your positions, which are forwards that are running forward. They're the ones that are on the offense primarily, and the backs who are feeding them snowballs. The captain and coach is on the sideline, who's also a player. He's going to be telling you where snowballs are coming from when you're hiding behind the barrier, because they'll do lob shots, and it's incredible watching the match because they're dodging these lobs that go just like high and over the blockade, and that coordination to tell them to move left or right. I mean, people miss by like an inch how quickly they're trying to coordinate and yell that out while also yelling out strategies. So there's a lot of live action communication that's happening.
Okay, that's pretty cool though.
So, and each match starts with the team lined up on the back line. The forwards even start at the back line. But once they cross forward, they can't go behind that back line. And the back line,
Keep going.
the back line players have to step back and then feed them the balls. Forwards run to get into good position. Some snowballs in their hand, and they're just throwing them. Forwards cannot grab snowballs themselves. They're fed from the other team, and the forwards can advance until they are in enemy territory, coordinating 3 or 4 at a time.
I was trying to visualize all that.
7 people. 4 go forward.
14 people, dumbass.
14 people.
Okay.
Opposite end.
Where are the snipers?
They're the 3 in the back.
Really? I guess, yeah, technically they're fire and snowball. Okay, continue.
The 4 guys on each side go forward, hide behind blockade, coordinate suppressive fire with snowball, so other man move forward. Continue suppressive fire, so other men move forward to midline. Try and knock out with snowball to face other team. Other team throw snowball back. Try and defend flag. Back line feed snowball forward to feed their forwards to take out other team. Also throw long lobs, unsuspecting shots like artillery to hit the opposing team when distracted by hard throwing forwards. Eliminate player. Move forward. Get flag. Win. Eliminate more player. Time run out. You have more player. They have less player. You win. Tie. Both teams 3-minute up. Same amount of players. Must throw at targets over chateau. Alternating male, female. Until 5 people finish throwing. Whoever hit most targets, win.
Even if you have an uneven number of people after 3 minutes is up? Like
if they're equal in numbers, say your team eliminated 2 and their team eliminated 2,
I see.
then you do the throw off. That's like a shootout.
Okay, got it.
And the targets are set up on the chateau on the back line, and they're thrown from the chateau to the other chateau.
I see. I understand now. I'm with it. I'm hip.
And that is Yukigassen.
Pretty simple.
Pretty easy sport to understand.
When's it coming to the Olympics?
I hope soon.
Because it's like, it makes total sense for a sport. It makes just as much sense. Ooh, there's a snowball thing.
Yeah, so that's the press.
Yeah. It makes just as much sense. Oh, those are nice.
They're like perfectly
those
spherical.
Are nice. It makes just as much sense as like handball or anything like that, you know? It's just a smaller, more condensed, but still very competitive thing. I could see a lot of strategy going into it. But then again, with something like this, I could see how people are like, well, why isn't paintball in the Olympics? You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the thing that I realized when I was watching this. This is very similar to like paintball arenas or even airsoft.
Airsoft, yeah.
The only thing that I argue against paintball and airsoft is because it's used in a fashion that's militaristic. And I mean, those things, it's like riflery versus these people are having to throw accurately as opposed to shooting. Like you can just reach around and shoot a paintball gun. You can't really do that when you're throwing. I'm also going to bring up this video because this video in particular by Tofugu actually runs through the history of the sport and actually showcases the entire town and what Yukigassen is and talks about like the actual championships. So like you can see closely here, you can see the back line in white and the front line in black. And they've got their numbers. And so what's really interesting, I noticed this, is they have a GoPro right in that midline barrier. And so it showcases a perspective from video for the officials to also watch when somebody gets hit.
I see, yeah.
So they actually have elements already in play for visual replay because those just look like GoPros to me.
The cool thing is nowadays with technology improving, the ability for even amateur competitions to have really high quality broadcasts that are controllable with like replays and stuff is becoming more and more accessible. Like even a lot of things to do with like streaming technology is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from what people do in traditional broadcasts. And most people, a lot of people's streams out there are more professional than like local news channel broadcasts. Like it gets pretty complicated and it's pretty cool to see where it's at.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that this sport has been growing, and like I said, the governing body only has existed now for 11 years.
Oh, okay. So really, really new.
Yeah. So 2013 is when the official international governing body was formed. So that was 11 years ago. So maybe we'll see it in the next Winter Olympics that are actually, I believe the next ones are in Utah, Park City, Utah.
You know what I would like to see? And this kind of coincides with this idea I've had, because I love large scale multiplayer, like arena shooters, you know, not talking Fortnite. I'm talking Battlefield. But now, even bigger than Battlefield, you've got games like Foxhole. Have you heard of Foxhole?
I've not heard of Foxhole.
Foxhole is literally a World War II or World War I simulator where you have every part of the war. People making the weapons, making the bullets, like salvaging, repairing trucks, sending the bullets to the front line with a truck, which at every stage of it, the enemy can attack and disrupt it because it's all part of the chain. There's hundreds of people on each side fighting these wars that can last days online. And so I've always wanted to see something come out of that in a sporting event like this. And I think this more than like paintball, more than airsoft, because you have to make the snowballs, right? I would love to see a 100v100 like snowball battle where you have a dedicated crew. You pick how many people are in your logistics department. You pick how many people are on your front line, how many people are on the defensive line, how many people are running snowballs back and forth. So the entire battle is like fought like a war.
And even then, it's like you also have to build your own barriers. There's no preset barriers other than whatever the land provides for the teams.
And you could do anything because there's like a commander for each one that's overseeing the battle, giving orders. But if you assassinate the commander, all their orders stop, and so everyone's on their own, and so it's like a decapitated strike, and every chain of command falls apart, and everyone's on their own. It would be so fun. And snowball is kind of perfect for it.
I mean, like a massive grand scale snowball capture the flag fight.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's what it would be. It would be capture the flag. There is a flag at the end there. It's massive. It's huge. You need like 2 people to carry it. You gotta get it out there. That would be super fun.
I mean, Yukigassen is a small scale version of that. If they just expounded upon it,
it's perfect for making it bigger. This is the kind of thing that would work well bigger.
Yeah. The other thing I forgot to mention, if you were caught trying to make a snowball during the match, you're instantly out. So there's like clear defined rules that if you're trying to scoop and make a snowball in the process, you're going to be eliminated. So they track them. That's the other thing with this. The amount of strategy is like, how much do you throw? Because you don't want to run out of all 90 snowballs too fast, because then the other team can just walk over and be like, aha.
And you can't steal from the other team?
You cannot steal from the other team.
I think that should change. I think that should be totally an option.
If a ball stays intact after it hits the ground, or
I'm just not so much after it hits the ground, but I mean, like if you get to their supply.
Not the thing is, that's behind the flag, so
yeah, true. Why would you go for that versus the other thing? Anyway.
I think you should be allowed to tunnel underneath.
That's what I was also saying. You should be able to, they should make the field above a snow mound, so you have that should be in the large scale, so you have sappers that are digging underneath, and like they have to build the infrastructure, else you see the field collapse and you hear
there'd be so much. They got to have the dogs ready to find them in the snow.
Cool. Oh man, it'd be
actual
awesome.
Life and death situations, buried alive.
You know, some days I realize that we could coordinate something like this. Dreams don't have to be dreams. This could be reality.
It's true. We could have an official GMFST meetup and make our own giant snowball fight. By the way, I need to correct myself. The next Winter Olympics is in Milan. It is, and then the year after that, I believe, is Park City, Utah. So
Park City, Utah. Well, we'll never forgive you for this transgression.
I know. I've done terrible things, but I'm really excited for the next episode we record.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Sneak peek.
Why is that?
Because Santa's involved.
Santa,
and it will remind you of the times we talked about the disaster that was disco night.
The disaster. Oh, right.
Disco demolition night.
Yeah, disco demolition night. Good times, you know, good times.
I think we've covered that pretty well. I think it's a pretty good episode. So,
well, there you have it, everybody. You don't need to wonder ever again about where to fight your snowballs. You can go to Japan into the, what was the area?
I had mentioned it so many times. Sobetsu.
You can go to Sobetsu and you can find yourself exactly what you need to fulfill your dreams. Don't let your dreams be dreams, and go chase after them.
I'm going to see if we have a where to watch Yukigassen. You can play Yukigassen anytime. The Japan Yukigassen Federation is the first thing that popped up. It's saying it can be played in all seasons. You can use dodgeballs.
Ooh.
Mark, we could play Yukigassen right now. We got dodgeballs in
I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need it.
I'm assuming you might be able to find some on YouTube. I'm not finding any particular spaces to watch. I'm just finding a bunch of YouTube videos.
All right. Well, thank you for the proper explanation. Hope you all are having a cold time in hell.
Oh, yeah.
You asshole. I'm sorry.
We're going to punch you.
I don't. What was that from?
That's from you like 4 episodes ago.
Did I threaten that?
The title is "We're Gonna Punch You."
I don't remember that at all.
It was a running thing every time.
I don't think that's true.
It's so true.
This man is a liar, and no one should trust him.
Anyway, go to the Reddit, reddit.com/r/gmfst to send your accuses. Send us sport news, like apparently the masturbation sport that exists now.
I don't know what the competition is called. This was back in 2009 and 8 as well, so who knows if it's still around. If it is, it should be banned, and I do not approve of it. You can quote me on that.
Yeah, but you can send us sporting news, you can send us episode suggestions, and you can accuse or japreach. Just make sure and use the proper flair. reddit.com/r/gmfst. If you want to get yourself some cool swag, maybe we can sell snowballs. You think they'd buy snowballs?
No. That'd be irresponsible of us to sell snowballs. Unless you want to pay.
Yeah. We'll contain it in a jar so it won't leak anywhere if it melts in transition.
Just saying.
Store.gmfst.com is where you can get those sweet things. Outside of that, check us out in wherever else we exist on the internet, I guess.
Yep. Wherever that may be. You'll never find us.
Don't
even
we're so
try
hidden.
looking.
It's like hide and seek, but with snow.
Yeah, and balls.
All right, bye.
Oh.